Any news coming out about Dune Messiah or Dune Part 3, it's been so funny because Denis Villeneuve is like notoriously closed-mouthed, very tight-lipped, keeps things close to the vest. So it's really like pulling teeth to get a significant update. All of the Dune films, it's not been great for me. Just trying to get some tangible information out of each Dune project has been like pulling teeth out of Denis Villeneuve. He does not like to share when he's involved in a project. He doesn't like to talk about it very much. So I remember he never even confirmed that Austin Butler was cast in the movie. I think there was like some insider information about something weird, like a casting sheet. And he was asked about it and he was so aloof, he would never confirm that Austin Butler was until he couldn't deny it anymore. So he was at the red carpet recently and was asked about the progress of Dune 3 or Dune Messiah. And so this is an article from Screen Rant. Dune 3 script update from Denis Villeneuve confirms active development, fuels next movie speculation. This says a new script update from Denis Villeneuve confirms the active development of Dune Part 3. Earlier this year saw the release of Dune Part 2, the much anticipated follow-up to the 2021 film Dune. After release delays, Dune Part 2 received glowing reviews and did well at the global box office. Dune Part 2 featured a leading cast, including Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Josh Brolin, Austin Butler, Florence Pugh, Dave Bautista, Léa Seydoux, and Christopher Walken, most of whom are expected to return. Well, a few of those on the end of that list won't. In an interview with Variety at the Toronto International Film Festival, Villeneuve comments on the progress of Dune 3.
The response to Dune 2 was fanatical, and I myself saw it at 3 a.m. at the screening.
Oh, wow.
What did you make of that fanfare around the movie?
But the thing is that it was very moving because when we did the part one, and when it was released at the end of the pandemic. So I didn't have the chance to be in contact with the audience. It was like more of I was felt disconnected from the audience. So when we did the tour for part 2, and then we felt the joy and the appetite for the second film. That really went straight to my heart to see how much people were waiting for the film and ready to love it.
Is there a script for the third one yet?
It's in the works. Yeah, that's why I'm not staying here very long. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
He pieced out of there pretty fast. Brings up Dune 3 and he's like, okay, see ya. Yeah, we're working on it. It's great to hear his thoughts about the reception for the franchise. This was like trending around and I'm honestly a little bit underwhelmed from this response because we've already known that the script was in the works and I was hoping for a bit more information when it came to the progress. I thought the script would have been close to finished, if not finished already. And it's interesting because everyone was sharing this article like it was fresh news. This is an article from December 8th, 2023. Denis Villeneuve says Dune 3 script is almost finished. It's not news. It's not breaking news, I should say. So this has been known for quite some time, his progress about Dune 3, that he's working on the script. So this is old news, actually. And to hear that he's still kind of working on it, I would have hoped that he was maybe at least finished or close to finished, because if he was almost finished by the time December of 2023, you'd think that by now, almost a year later, we would have had some more significant updates in its progress or that it's finished. So I keep thinking about the monumental challenges ahead for Dune 3 and the adaptation of Dune Messiah, because there's just so many things that I can't help but worry about when it comes to the narrative and the adaptation specifically for Dune Messiah, because there's so many significant changes that were made in Dune Part 2 that I'm honestly really concerned about how things are going to work out for the adaptation of Dune Messiah, because there are things that will just have no choice but to impact Dune 3, because there's just no way around it. The way they ended Dune Part 2, especially when it came to Paul and Shawnee's relationship, completely different. And also not even just that, the state of the galaxy, basically, and the political landscape was also very different. The Spacing Guild was non-existent, and that's such a huge part of the events of the end of Dune. Even that, things like that concern me, like going forward. I'm not surprised in that sense that he's still working on the script, because honestly, these are some immense challenges that he's going to have to work out to kind of, I guess, make up for what was missing in Dune Part 2, and also to make a faithful adaptation of Dune Messiah, to kind of work out both of those things, to make up for what was changed, adapt the story, or I guess as the timeline progresses in a way that makes sense coming off of Dune Part 2, and that will weave together in a seamless way for Dune Messiah. Anyway, so that was like sort of trending around. Oh, Dune 3 is in the works. So yeah, it's in active development. Yeah, we know that. We've known that for almost a year now. Thought that we would have more of a significant update as far as production. Warner Brothers started a publicity campaign saying it was going to be ready with an already finished script to release on the same day as the Rey Star Wars film. Yeah. So Warner Brothers, I mean, they have such a sweet deal in regards to Dune, the franchise, because their deal with Legendary is the one that puts up like 80% of the production budget. They're the ones that, produce the film, and Warner Brothers is 20% of the budget and distribution rights. They take care of that. So when it comes to Warner Brothers, they have a sweet deal in regards to this. And obviously, being the distribution side, they have the date set aside. And I think they can change that at any point too. Honestly, they're just at the whim of Denis and Legendary at this point. So I can't help but think back to what the Legendary CEO said when Dune Part 2 first released. While Denis Villeneuve was saying that, yeah, he's getting ready with the script, Dune 3, that was never in the initial plan. Because even when Dune Part 1 premiered, they didn't know if there was going to be a second part. That wasn't for sure yet. They were going to wait and see how the first film performed and then decide. So even from the outset, 2 films wasn't even a guarantee, let alone a third film for Dune Messiah. Dune Messiah just started to get out there as far as kind of a dream or hope from Denis when he was doing press for Dune Part 1. He kind of teased that, and it kind of continued to be teased from the director that was going to be his dream. But that was never part of the plan starting out. I mean, Dune is a very niche property to begin with. The first film, the David Lynch film, did not do well at the box office. So, there were a lot of ifs and some risks there, but it performed well, and they ended up greenlighting Dune Part 2, I think, maybe a week after Dune Part 1 premiered. It was pretty soon. But then, yeah, there wasn't much when Dune Part 2 premiered, though. Great box office. I think it could have been better if they had just eased up on the streaming release date. I think they jumped the gun there. Apart from that, it still performed very well. Over $700 million at the box office. Great for Warner Brothers, for sure. They're fully on board, but Legendary, they're the ones putting up a majority of the money for this. So the CEO was saying that if Denis Villeneuve can produce a script that basically is on par with Dune Part 2, then yeah, they'll move forward with that. But the thing is with that, Dune and Dune Messiah are very different in tone and themes and action. Honestly, I think Dune Messiah would probably be more akin with the pacing, I guess, of Dune Part 1. So it would probably be a lot of dialogue, a lot of world building, and then at the end have a huge action set piece. But for Dune Messiah, I think there's definitely going to be more heavy on that political intrigue and drama. So it's not going to be like Dune Part 2. So they're going to have to make massive changes. So I'm really curious as to what challenges as far as the script will have to go through for Legendary to, I guess, fully commit. I mean, obviously Warner Brothers is on board, but all of the creative partners have to be on the same page. So this is why when I heard the news, I was hoping for something more substantive as far as the progress and how Legendary is feeling the script. So basically, we're at where we were before. There's nothing new here as far as the progress of Dune 3.